right, welcome back to Mystic Mysteries. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. In front of me here you see is the Pyramid of Hellenikon. So in the previous video I did a tarot and oracle reading based on this structure without really knowing anything about it other than where it is located in Greece. So I analyzed the information that I got from the reading. I made a little poem out of it to hopefully bring more substance to this exploration and analysis, and some creativity within it too. So here we go. Revelation to strut your stuff, show your true colors, the optimism it took to convince others. The key to access the pyramid within was to dream your life without obligation, to open more possibilities, to fight off confusion. So I wrote that because I like to put these readings into a more structured format that might, I don't know, make sense or trigger something maybe within you that makes sense. And it doesn't have to make sense if it makes no sense. It's just a creative process that I go through to further decode what I am seeing, feeling, experiencing. So from the reading I got previously, I just made a couple points that this reading was saying that this place might have been where revelations were made. It might have been somewhere to try and spark some kind of beauty in the landscape. 3, it sent a message of showing off. And 4, someone of optimistic movement might have created this. 5, it was a place to access the element of air in a different way. Duties might have been played out in this pyramid, such as priestesses, volunteers, and possibilities of dreams and fantasies played out here. And then I also put down the fire prince might be representing the god Apollo, since we are talking about ancient Greece. The name Helen could be very similar to the word Helios, which is sun. Okay, so from Wiki, hey buddy. From Wiki, I didn't get a whole lot of information. Basically, it said there was a fight for the throne between Proteus. Hey buddy. Can you keep it down a little bit, please? Thank you. So there was a fight for the throne between Proteus and Acrisius, and it ended in a draw. Now, they're not saying that that's the reason this pyramid was built. It's still unknown. It's just something they came across, I guess, in some kind of text that had something to do with this pyramid that was close to this other one. The cool thing, though, is that these pyramids are supposedly dated to be older than the Egyptian pyramids, which is significant and something to keep in mind here. It says here, for those that fell on either side was built here a common tomb, as they were fellow citizens and kinsmen. That's just going back to some kind of battle that they think this is why this pyramid was erected. And then I found something here. Astronomical orientation of a long entrance corridor was found related to the rise of Orion's belt occurring in 2400 to 2000 BC. So if we take the evidence of this being older than the Egyptian pyramids, then that could be a huge clue to what these things were actually made for. I have a theory that these pyramids were made for dream therapy in the ancient days. At least that's what my cards were trying to tell me. It was a way to access dreaming in, a secluded area. So I'm going to read this to you here. In our modern and materialistic societies, dreams are considered as something of no substance. We are detached from dreams. Dreams are not seen as a part of the human experience. For many ancient civilizations, dreams were seen as an opportunity for learning and healing. Ancient Greeks placed great importance on dreams and used them for therapeutic purposes. Falling asleep and dreaming formed part of the therapies available in purpose-building complexes. The Asclepia, dedicated to Asclepius, the god of medicine. The Asclepia were spread all over the Greek world, over 300, built at locations of natural beauty and favorable climate. The Asclepia included temples, ceremonial and dream areas, hostels, gyms, bathrooms, and theaters. Visitors wanting to receive therapy had to first be purified. On arrival, they would be bathed and received physiotherapy. After some days of fasting and exercising, the visitor would be considered ready for the dream ceremony. Visitors would be taken to the narrow dream room, situated below ground level in the dream room, and they would fall asleep on stone beds under the guidance of the priest therapist, hoping for a healing dream. In the space of the ceremony, psychoactive incense was burned to aid dreaming. Sleep was regarded as temporary death. During the dream state, patients would have profound and conscious experiences. The dream was regarded as guidance from Asclepius. I don't know how to say that name. In the dream, he would give advice or touch the patient in the area that was suffering. In some cases, once awake, patients felt rejuvenated and cured. Dreams were interpreted by the patient and the priest therapist. Based on the dream, the priest therapist would give the appropriate advice and therapy. If the dreams did not come, the ceremony was repeated until the right dream emerged. Even today, one can find written patient testimonies inside some of these Asclepia. Also, dream oracles were common in ancient Greece. People would take their questions to the oracle. After fasting and a special psychological preparation, people would go down a trench to have a dream that would provide the answer to their question. Greek philosophers placed great importance on dreams. By following the right diets, listening to music, and mental focus, they would prepare themselves for having dreams. Dreaming was an opportunity to understand existence beyond the awake state. Aristotle wrote in his treatise on dreams, when one is asleep, there is something in consciousness which tells us that what presents itself is but a dream. So I found that fascinating. And it brings me back to, if these temples were older than the pyramids, there could be a connection there. What were the pyramids really used for? They were tombs, but there were also pyramids in Egypt used for sound resonance, healing chambers, and probably even dreaming chambers. As you might have picked up when I was reading out that little article, these oracles would go into places like theaters, bathrooms, very enclosed spaces. And the pyramid's structure, I think, has the geometric precision to be able to dream properly, or maybe even help one access the astral body easier when you're in confined spaces. So maybe these pyramids were the earliest forms of where this dream oracles would go. And later on, like, because there's only like 16 of them or something in ancient Greece, in Greece. But then we have an explosion, like 300 of these Asclepias all over. So I find it interesting that if I'm right about this, I would like some recognition for it, but I probably won't get it because people are just slimy like that. But let me know what you think. I think it's a very good hypothesis, theory even, that these temples or pyramids were probably used for things like dreaming and ceremonial use, not necessarily for tombs. And they could have even be markers for maybe entrances to, because we had the key there as one of the cards, accessing either the astral, or maybe it's an access to underground. Maybe there's more underneath these pyramids than we can see from the surface. And isn't it like that for most things, right? There's always more beneath the surface. But yeah, like, go look up the Egyptian pyramids, and there's heart resonance chambers that people have gone into where they receive like miraculous healing. And when you are able to put yourself in isolation and complete darkness, and an enclosed space like that, supposedly it's a lot easier for someone to achieve, I guess, lucid dreaming. At least that's what I've read up about. I know for myself, I need to be in a dark place. It's very hard for me to sleep like during the day when the sun is out. It has to be very dark. And I am a lucid dreamer at times, so I know, I kind of get why the ancient Greeks were doing this, because I mean, if you didn't have technology like we do now, you were depending on the oracles and the prophecies and the wise women and priests to be able to direct you into a direction that would hopefully be in your highest good. Right now we have a very distorted view of what that really is, and we like to look outside of ourselves for answers instead of looking within. I think the pyramid is also a representation of what we need to be doing, is going within and building up our foundation from the ground up. And the foundation is usually the thickest towards the bottom, right? And we get more vertical as we rise. So hopefully that made some kind of sense. If it didn't, oh well. This is more for me than it is for you. Take care. Peace.